Welcome back into the Rounding Third podcast. I'm Nick. We have Harrison and Sean with us tonight. How we doing, fellas?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Awesome. How we doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Crazy day at work, but that's my day every day. So
that's why we're here.
I thought this is Fight Club, right? But we don't talk about Fight Club.
Dude, I could go on for another 3-hour podcast about what I deal with at work, but we'll get to that some other time. But all right. Before we get going, make sure that you follow and like us on Facebook. You can also subscribe on YouTube. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. All right. Got some news from around the league to start off the show here. Let's start off with the Red Sox. So we get news earlier this week that Lucas Giolito is done for 2024. So after we sat here for 2 weeks applauding his, durability, he has a partial tear in his UCL and flexor strain. So we are done for 2024. Kind of leaves a hole in the non-existent rotation, which we'll get to in a little bit. But in other news, they did extend Brian Bello for 6 years, $55 million. Is this a good signing for the Red Sox to extend Brian Bello? Do we know what we have with Brian Bello?
I think you know what's coming, right? I think you can see what's coming. I think it's a good move for the Red Sox because I think this is the way baseball is going, and we've talked about it for the last year and a half, right? Like teams are kind of going out of their way to extend these young guys way earlier than we had seen in the past. And it's showing the fans and it's, giving commitment to the player and it's, showing the rest of the organization this is the direction we're heading in. I think the Red Sox believe, whether we believe it or not, whether it's actually going to happen, obviously we'll see. I think the Red Sox believe that this is going to be some sort of breakout-ish kind of year for Bello. And I think if you're the Red Sox and you truly believe that that's going to happen, and there's talks of, in the next offseason we're going to extend him, the price is going to go up if he has the type of year you think he's going to have. So if that's the case, if you truly believe it, I totally see the reasoning in them doing it now, this kind of spring training, this offseason, before he has the year that you think he's going to have. We'll see. He's got to go out and perform, but I think we know what we're getting. I think we know what's coming. I think there's been enough. It's not just a flash here and there. I think we know what to expect. And I think it goes to show you too how much they believe in Andrew Bailey as the pitching coach. Like, I think that tells you a lot about how they feel about what Bailey is going to be able to do with the young pitchers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget too that, this kid's been kind of riding alongside Pedro Martinez a lot too. Pedro spent a lot of time one-on-one with this kid and thinks the world of him. So I do think that he has potential ace of the future stuff. I think we've seen flashes of it, but I sent you guys a message the other day going, okay, here's some career numbers for you. 14-19, 4.37 ERA, a 1.45 whip, 10.1 hits per 9, 2.6 K to walk ratio. On the surface, pretty okay numbers, pretty average pitching numbers. But those are this kid's first season and a quarter in the big leagues as an early 20-something. So they don't jump off the page at you, but he's been learning on the job and he's shown some incredible signs of talent. So with experience, you'd expect that, his stuff and his talent will begin to merge. You'll still see the results. And I agree with you, Sean. I think the Red Sox are betting on a big year from him. He's looked great this spring. Yeah. His stuff is nasty. And I think he's a kid that's proven he's got it. Now he just has to refine it. And in the right circumstance with the right people around him, I think he's a perennial 15 to 18 game winner and one of your top pitchers.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with everything that you both said.
Yeah. In 2 years from now, if he has a great year this year that the Red Sox think he's going to have, and he backs it up and follows it up next year with another great one, we're going to be sitting here 2 years from now being like, that's an absolute steal, right? For the money you're paying him, that's a bargain. So, it's obviously, and this is kind of a non-answer, but it's going to obviously depend on the performance he puts out. But I don't think it's a stretch, or I don't think it's a reach for the Red Sox to think like, okay, at this point we've got, X amount of starts under our belt with him in a Red Sox uniform. We see him every day, like you said, with the whole kind of closeness with Pedro, right? Like if Pedro, if Cora, if these, front office people for the Red Sox not only think he has the stuff, but think he has the kind of the mental fortitude and the mental toughness to be able to battle through and grind. Like, I don't think the Red Sox are under any illusions here that this is a 100-win team. Like, I think they know there's going to be ups and downs, and he's going to have to grind his way through 4, 5, 6 starts in a row. But we think he has the mental toughness and the fortitude to be able to do it. We still think this year he's going to get us 12, 13, 14 wins. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move for both sides, right? It gives him some stability. Like, he doesn't have to worry about, I got to perform to get that coveted first extension that these young players are now going for. Like, I have it. And now it's time to go out and continue to refine the skills and grind. I think it works.
I think it's smart for the Red Sox too, because of the lack of pitching in their rotation. I mean, this at least gives you some sort of an anchor. Is he ready to be an anchor of a rotation? Probably not quite yet. But he's your most stable guy that you're going to have in your rotation. Like, he's going to be penciled in every 5th day, injuries aside, that he's going to be there. The rest of our staff is kind of a question mark. Like, we don't know what we're going to get. And with that, with the Giolito injury, does signing Montgomery, quote unquote, help this team?
I mean, this year, no. I mean, it's does it help them? Yes. Does it make them relevant? No. He just helps them dig out of a bigger hole. But if you had Giolito and Bello in the rotation, healthy, ready to go, and you added Montgomery, this team is now a mid to high 80s win team, and they're fighting for a wild card spot. You take Giolito out and put Montgomery in, you're probably an 82 to 84 win team maybe, and you're likely on the outside looking in again. So does it make a difference this year? Maybe a little bit, but it doesn't change the outcome of you're not going to be a playoff team.
Yeah. No, but I also think that's why you sign guys to multiple year deals, right? Like you look kind of further ahead than just 1 year at a time, and we'll see. I mean, what was was Giolito just 1 year with an option, or was it 2?
2 years.
It was almost a guaranteed 2 years kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a 2-year deal.
So, I mean, maybe they make the move with Montgomery, give him a number of years, and it's like, okay, we're kind of just kicking the can down the road another year. We have Bello signed up next year. We got Lucas coming back 1 more year. He thinks he's going to have to prove it to earn another contract. We got Monty set up for 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. If that deal turns out to be, we're just kind of kicking the can. Listen, I think if you have the option to sign good players, you should sign good players. Regardless of kind of the rest of it. Like, with the Giolito news, does Montgomery put you as 90 wins and kind of in the firm things of the postseason? No. But if you have the opportunity to sign a good player, you should sign a good player.
Yeah. And I'm under the impression that any contract Montgomery signs, Giolito was 2 years, 38.5. So it's he's definitely back next year. I'm under the impression anything Montgomery signs, since he's not going to get his big deal, is going to be the same thing as like Bellinger and those guys. It's going to be a 3-year deal with opt-outs. Yeah. It'll end up being a 1-year deal. He'll opt out and go back into free agency. So I think if you can get a guy like that to commit for 4 or 5 years, you sign him. If it's going to be one of these 3-year deals with opt-outs where it's basically a guaranteed 1-year deal, then no, don't spend the money. It is what it is, and just move on.
But you really think Monty's going to you think it's kind of penciled in now because it's so late into the spring training, or the not even off season, I guess spring training now? Like, you think it's pretty much going to be one of those?
I think it's the only way you're going to get a guy like that to sign right now, because if he hasn't gotten the long-term contract yet, it's going to be hard to get it now with the season about to start. So I think it's going to be one of those 3-year multiple opt-out deals that Boris is having all of his guys sign.
But it's going to be hard though. Like, he's 31 now.
I know.
Right. I mean, it's going to be hard. Like, if teams aren't willing to give a 31-year-old, a 3 or 4 year deal without the opt-outs, like it's going to be hard for him to get something like that another year down the road at 32, regardless of what kind of year he has this year. Right? Like he had the year last year where theoretically he should be in for that kind of big ticket that he wants. He's not going to get it at 31. Like what gives him all the confidence that if he has another good year at 31, he's going to get it at 32?
Scott Boras.
Yeah, I think they're
he's
playing this off as.
But he's overly misplayed his hand this year.
I completely agree with you.
On multiple clients.
But to play devil's advocate, so say you're Montgomery and somebody offers you a 4-year deal. You don't want to be a free agent again at 35. You'd rather be a free agent again at 32 and take another shot at it than having yourself strung out just far enough. And Boras continues to play this off as, well, once the TV thing is settled, the money will come back. Maybe it will. I have no idea. But the fact that these guys are still sitting there now with no contracts, or the reigning Cy Young winner and Blake Snell, and then Jordan Montgomery, a clutch postseason hero, I don't get it. But my guess is Boras will not let this guy sign anything that doesn't have an opt-out after the first year to go get paid again.
And I get it. He's had a bad year. Everybody has bad years, right? This isn't Boras's best year as an agent. But
it's been a bad offseason.
And everyone has bad years. You know, I mean, like the guy does have a track record of being able to get, he gets blood from a stone for his clients year on year. So, maybe this is just an anomaly as a bad year. I just don't know, for the way that a lot of the clients have been bungled this offseason, I'm not sure I would have so much confidence that like, oh, well, next year's we're just going to get back to normal. You know, like, especially because we have this big TV deal that's just so up in the air. We just don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah. Let's kind of dive into that a little bit, because there's some players that are saying there's been collusion between teams because of this TV money, and that's why no one's spending. But in the same breath, it's like, well, I'm not going to spend money I don't have, or that I don't know if I'm going to have it or not, because like I don't know if my TV market just gets pulled. Like I can't sign guys and then just be like, oh, well, I don't have the money to pay you right now. So I don't know. It's just, it is crazy. There's so much in the air. Bally Sports is in how many markets now? I mean,
it's Diamond Sports, which is
which
operates as Bally Sports. It's like 9 markets they're in.
But it was more. They had the Padres, they had the Diamondbacks, they pulled out. MLB has that now. So it was like what, 11 or 12 at one point?
Yeah, it was 12 or 13 total. They've pulled out of a couple. They've lost a couple. I want to say it's like 9 or 10 now, but I'm trying to see what it is. So Braves, Reds, Tigers, Royals, Angels, Marlins, Brewers, Cardinals, Rays, and Twins, Guardians, Rangers. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
11,
7, 8,
right?
9. 11. So 12. 12 markets. So in 3 of those markets, they're not guaranteeing payments. They've told the Twins, the Guardians, and the Texas Rangers, we're not guaranteeing your TV money this year. And the other 9 markets are saying, yeah, we should be okay. And if we falter, Bally Sports Plus will pick you up on streaming and cover us. So it seems like the Braves, the Reds, the Tigers, the Royals, the Angels, the Marlins, the Brewers, the Cardinals, and the Rays have a backup plan. But that leaves the Twins, Guardians, and Rangers on an island that if they fail, they just go dark.
Which is crazy. And that's why the Rangers probably couldn't re-sign Monty right there.
Yep. And they're asking these teams, to take discounts. Like, we're not going to be able to pay you the full contract amount. So it's a $480 million deal they signed that they're going to bail out of potentially and drop it in the lap of either Bally Sports Plus or just pull out completely. But so, yeah, I mean, this TV deal, those are a lot of markets to be affected. The funny thing is the Braves are affected by it and they don't care. They just keep building a team. But a lot of other teams don't have that luxury.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think it was Kike Hernandez made the comment about collusion. Boras has said something a couple of times that, doesn't feel right this offseason. JD Martinez still looking for a job. Can't get a contract offer. He's gone and seen everybody at this point. The guy's coming off one of the better seasons of his career. Can't find a job. All these guys taking 3-year, glorified 1-year contracts. Like, the landscape has changed, and it's not a typical offseason. And we were laughing before we got on. The NFL offseason just opened, and it's bananas. There's been more activity today than MLB had all offseason. Yeah. I get that it's a different game and structure, but it's been a weird offseason, and the players aren't liking it. And Tony Clark even came out today, and he's concerned with how many people aren't signed and the below market contracts, in air quotes, he feels like guys are getting. And the Players Association is now starting to poke and prod and just understand what's really getting at this, because we were told the game is flush with money, and yet nobody's got any to spend.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even pretend to know what's going on behind the scenes, but I mean, just our hometown team of the Red Sox, just watching what they're doing, like they're not spending, and they can. They're just choosing not to. But why? Like they don't have the TV excuse. I mean, I know they have a lot of other stuff going on, but why are they not spending?
Yeah, and so Tony Clark had his annual players meetings down in Florida, or down in spring training. He goes back and forth, and the three major topics brought up by the players: uniforms, changes to the pitch clock, and free agency. Those are the three hot button issues of the players right now. They don't like the uniforms. They do not like the pitch clock being shortened further, and they're afraid of what's going on with free agency. They don't like what it creates for the future landscape for them.
Yeah, all fair points, but
for sure.
But in a sport that had record revenue last year, it's not a good look to have a really down off season coming off the back of that.
When it should have been the best that MLB has seen in years.
There was a lot of top tier talent out there, and a lot of it's still sitting, or has agreed to short contracts.
You have a perennial MVP in Shohei Ohtani as a free agent. You have the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the NL, still hasn't signed. Like it should have been an off season for the ages, and instead MLB bungs it up like they continually do year after year.
Geez, MLB's so poor, Shohei can't even get paid all that money.
Right. It's crazy. I don't know. Some kind of crazy news out of Yankees camp is Garrett Cole is going in for a right elbow precautionary MRI. The report said that he is having a tough time recover between starts. Is this concerning for Yankees fans? I mean, we're not even pitching at full tilt right now, like either, right? He's going 3 innings, maybe max, and we're having a tough time recovering between starts.
Yeah, I mean, to answer the question first, is it concerning for Yankee fans? Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, to be honest, for all the Yankee hate that I give, I mean, it's concerning for baseball. I mean, that's right. This is, I mean, like a top 3 pitcher in baseball still.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the year that he had last year, Cy Young, all this stuff. I mean, he was fantastic. And again, all the Yankee hate aside, I mean, this guy is as good as it gets. I mean, he is as close to every 5 days must-watch TV. Oh, Garrett Cole's pitching tonight. All right, let's just put it on the iPad and see what goes on. I mean, the guy is electric.
Let this one sink in for a second, Sean. So Garrett Cole's been in the top 10 of Cy Young voting for 6 years in a row. He's been in the top 5 of the last 6.
Yeah,
sure. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's tough because the Yankees have had a great offseason, adding Verdugo, obviously trading for Soto. You have Rodon, you got Stroman, Stroman's a proven MLB talent. Is he streaky? Yes, he's streaky as hell. But you put Cole, Stroman, and if you get anything out of Rodon this season, Yankees are going to be Cortez. He's a question mark too, but
I mean, I think that's having a guy like Garrett Cole who is going to give you every 5 days, right? Yep. I mean, he's going to give you, so it makes the signing of Stroman easier to swallow. Not just easier to swallow. I shouldn't say it that way. I should say it makes it like an acceptable signing because you can accept the streakiness of Stroman because you have the horse in Garrett Cole that, hey man, we have a stopper.
Right.
We have a stopper. We have a guy that if we go on a couple game losing streak, like it's okay because on Saturday we have Garrett going and all's right with the world. Yeah. You lose something like that, and now you have a rotation that's just filled with a bunch of streaky guys in question marks. It's not nearly as comfortable.
Yeah.
So as a Yankee fan, if I were a Yankee fan, it would be concerning for that. But yeah, I mean, as a baseball fan, it sucks.
Yeah.
I hope it's again, Yankee hate aside, I hope it's not a big deal. I hope it's a minor thing. Yeah. I hope it's one of those like, hey man, we dodged a bullet Why don't you sit out a little bit at the beginning of the year, make sure you're 100% ready to roll, and then we'll go from there. Like that's what I hope it is, because if we have to go the whole year without Garrett Cole, that's going to suck.
It's not going to matter if Juan Soto just keeps up the torrid pace that he's on right now. I mean, he's got 5 spring training home runs, and they're all over like 440.
All
like,
of
just
them jobs.
bombs.
Yeah, they're all jobs.
So in the last 3 years, Garrett Cole's won 44 games. He's made 96 starts, thrown almost 600 innings, and struck out 722 guys. Like, find me another pitcher in the last 3 years that has done that. Like, he is losing Garrett Cole is as much as I despise Garrett Cole, I do not like Garrett Cole, but you cannot deny the guy is easily one of the best couple of pitchers in all of baseball. He's automatic.
Yeah, unless he plays the Red Sox, which is
right.
so weird.
Except the Red Sox.
Is so bizarre, man. But some guys have those bugaboos. But yeah, that would suck. I hope it's not true. I hope it's not a big deal. I hope they dodge a bullet. I hope baseball dodges a bullet. So, we'll see soon enough, hopefully. But
if I'm a Yankees fan, I am panicked, because if he goes down, that completely changes the outlook.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is a guy who's 33 with a lot of miles on that arm. A lot of miles. And he's avoided the big injuries. At some point, your luck runs out.
Yeah. So I brought up Soto. He's been on a torrid pace in spring training. Jackson Holliday. Let's get to him real quick.
Well, before you do that, Nick,
all right,
there's already 3 teams that have come out and said they're preparing their offers for Soto for next offseason.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Is that right?
Yeah.
There are 3 teams that have already said they are preparing for free agency next year to go after Juan Soto.
Yeah.
But don't worry. Scott Boras is going to tell you that when TV comes back, there's going to be so much money. Don't worry. We already have teams, dude. But seriously, we already have teams that are. It's March of 2024, and they are already stashing money in the coffee can to get ready for the offseason of 2025. But Scott Boras is telling his guys, "Don't worry about it. There's going to be plenty of money next year." Like this is how disconnected this is right now. This is crazy.
It's bad.
Yeah. It's nuts. But all right, Jackson Holliday also having himself a fine little spring here.
He's pretty good.
He's all right for a 19-and-a-half-year-old or somebody that's just turned 20.
For all you guys that are our age out there, he was born in 2003. Just going to put that out there.
So gross.
It's crazy. So does Jackson Holliday make the big league team out of spring training?
Depends.
Does he or should he?
Yeah, good question.
Yes.
I think he should. I would be not shocked at all if he doesn't.
Fair.
And like we were saying before we came on, this is without Jackson Holliday on that opening roster. This is a 100-win team.
Yes.
And they added Corbin Burns.
Yeah, right.
So, you have John Means coming back. I mean, who knows what role that guy's going to play?
He's gonna be delayed a little bit. They did.
No. I know, but you have this guy coming back. Like this is a 100-win team that added Corbin Burns. You have a guy like John Means coming back.
Right.
Like this is not. It would be one thing if he was having this type of spring training, and you're talking about a 60-win team that is going to struggle to draw fans and get any type of notability.
Yeah.
Like then, yes, it's a no-brainer. Like you sign him for the. I don't want to call it the sideshow, but you sign him for all the other things that come along with that.
To sell tickets.
There's no need. Should they? Yes, they should. I mean, because you add him to that lineup every day. I mean, I would just not watch the Red Sox. I would just watch Baltimore every day.
I got it.
I wish I could.
So I don't. I think they should. I think they should. Do I think they will? I'd be surprised. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts in AAA.
Fair.
Yeah, and I said in the kind of the text thread we had going back and forth that I think he makes this team, but only if they know they can find a way to get him 4 or 5 days in their lineup. Because if you start him on the major league roster and have him sit in the bench and playing twice a week, you're just slowing down his development. If you know he can get at bats, Jesus, crazy. Yeah. But if you know you can find him at bats, then you bring him up. If you don't think you can, you send him down because inevitably somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna slump. You're gonna need him, but you can't have him sitting up there just watching. He's got to be getting at bats because this kid has shown. Get him on the field, let him play. He'll rise to the level. You just have to let him.
And I think, the fact that he grows so quickly through all the different minor league levels, it never really seemed to struggle. I mean, he slumped for like a week at a time at most. Like, I mean, he just, like you said, Erickson, he just rises to the level that he plays at. So I don't think there's any concern inside the organization about his mental fortitude. Like, I don't think there's anyone in the Orioles organization that's sitting there going, well, he's young. What if he struggles? Like, is he going to be able to handle it? I don't think those conversations exist. I think they are so confident in his physical ability and his mental ability to be able to withstand it and handle it. It just, do you think you need him right now? Or can he benefit even more from getting 2 months down in the minors? And then, we'll see what happens with, because with Gunnar Henderson, right? I mean, Gunnar Henderson, I think you said, is back now, but he had the injuries, right? Like, does he start off a little bit slow? Is this something that is a reoccurring thing for him? Does he need a little bit of a stint on, the injured list at the start of the year? And then maybe at that point, Jackson Holliday comes up and kind of just fills right in there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think you have plenty of options. I don't think there's any need to rush it. And, I do think they'll make the best decision. I think they've done a really nice job front office-wise the last handful of years. Whatever decision they make, I trust it will be the right one.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's so fun to watch, though, man. He's so fun to watch hit. He's such a nice.
Yeah, nice,
great
pure
swing.
left-handed swing. Yeah, it's insane.
And generates a lot of power for a guy who's not very big.
Yeah. All right, kind of under the same breath is the Pirates announced that Paul Skeens is going to start in the minors. I think this is kind of smart for the Pirates. Get him a few more starts. The Pirates are, I mean, yes, their start last year was incredible. Everybody was on that bandwagon for the first 3 or 4 months. I know I was riding it hard.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just kind of fell off after the O'Neill Cruz, quote unquote, slide. And they just kind of lost their stride there. So, I mean, we're going to see him. I think we'll see him this year, no doubt. This guy throws.
Yeah, probably.
He's got great stuff.
Yeah, I think the Pirates are smart. Send him to the minors, let him continue to kind of fine tune and get some reps. I mean, they just drafted the guy, but I agree that I think that at some point this year you see him because he has stuff that you just don't find, and that stuff will translate anywhere. Like, he will pitch well anywhere. I mean, he's been lighting up spring training, and the guy just what he does with the baseball just isn't right.
That 30-second reel of that 102 fastball on the outer black is like spot. You're just like, what? Like, gross. Absolutely.
Like, he will absolutely be a big part of the Pirates, and he'll be up this year. But I think it's smart to slow him down a little bit. Make sure he's locked in before you bring him up, so you don't ruin him.
Connor just texted me and said that if he wasn't dumped by Livy Dunn, he'd be starting opening day.
Wait, did she dump him?
I guess. I don't know.
Well, there goes the MLB's Taylor Swift.
Because just a few days ago, she was gushing to the news about how great he is and how much she loves him. So,
well,
that's so funny. I don't know.
All
Either
right.
way, funny text. Either way.
Is that why they had to scratch Skeens from his from pitching 2 days ago because he was sick?
Yeah, he's just consoling.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'll say this about I think pitchers I mean, who the hell am I? I don't know. I just think if I were running a program, I would be more cautious with these young pitchers coming up and making sure the jump from AAA to the major league level is just such a huge jump.
It's a lot.
And you have a guy who it seems like everywhere he's gone, he's always had that nasty swing and miss. Like, I can get a swing and miss anytime I want stuff. And if you got a guy that's young like that on a team that's probably going to struggle a little bit and he's not missing bats, like, how much is that going to hurt? Like, how much is he going to set back from that?
Right.
Like, you want, and now he's going to struggle. Like, and that's not to say that if they start him in the minors and bring him up in May, he's never going to struggle. I don't know if you need, for somebody that is as young as he is, I'm not entirely sure you need to put that additional kind of pressure on him right now to be that guy for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know, and I could be totally wrong. I have no idea. I look at a guy like that, and I'm just like, if I'm Pittsburgh, if I was running the Pirates, it's like, why? What's the difference if he goes down in AAA and he starts AAA for all of April and the first 2 weeks of May, and he comes up on the May 12th or whatever? Like, what are you really losing? It's 4 starts. It's 5 starts.
Right.
But you're just getting him in a bit of a groove. He's feeling himself, and then he comes up and the stuff keeps flowing. I don't know. I'm a little more weary with these young pitchers about just getting lit up early and just never really being able to recover.
Yeah, get it.
I totally agree with you. And if I'm the Pirates, I'm going to play it as I'm going to send him to AAA, and I'm going to bring him up when he makes me bring him up. When he's so damn dominant at AAA that he can't learn anything else down there, I'm going to bring him up. But until then, it'd be better to leave him down there to work on some stuff. Making a mistake at AAA doesn't hurt like making a big mistake up at the major league level. Let him go down there, and when he shows that he just absolutely can't progress there because he's hit his ceiling, then you bring him up and let him play in the show. But I wouldn't rush him, because we've seen all the cautionary tales of the guys that get rushed up there, and it doesn't work out, and they fall apart. And in many cases, they just don't recover.
Yeah. And the last thing I have leading off is Joey Votto gets a roster invite to the Blue Jays, a non-roster invite to the Blue Jays. So he is playing ball right now. It will be interesting to see what comes of it, though. Like, does he make the team? Does he just play in the minors? Like, what happens here? But I'm glad he signed. Glad he's returning his shopping carts finally, and all of that stuff. So, and he's not on a park bench with his head in his hands, sulking,
or going to the car wash with a sad look on his face.
Dude, that video's hilarious.
he is hilarious. The dude is a gem. I mean, just having him around will be good for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
I mean, will he make the club? I don't know. But why, if you're the Blue Jays, why would you not have this guy in the club? Like, that team has proven that when the stakes get high, they get all tense and crumble. This is the one guy who will never let you get tense. He will never let you crumble. They need a guy like this in that clubhouse every day, keeping these guys from getting all wound up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're not paying him jack, so keep him around as long as you can, because the dude is a gem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he Canadian too, or did I make that up?
He is Canadian.
He is, right?
He grew up a Blue Jays fan. This is a homecoming for him.
Right. That's what I thought.
So it's pretty cool. But so yeah, I mean, I wish him the luck. I hope to see him at the highest level. Because, I mean, when he came back last year, he still put up numbers. He was still productive.
And it might be this year. I hope it's not. But it's going to be a sad day in baseball when baseball doesn't have Joey Votto anymore. Like, whenever that is, whether it's this year, next year, 2 years from now. Like, it's going to be one of those, like, you sit back and you're like, I miss Joey Votto.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to head into the player puzzle segment of the show.
All right.
This has been a big hit. We've gotten so many comments on it and stuff as we've been putting them out. People are loving this. So we're going to keep it rolling for a couple more weeks until the season gets going. So here we go. Our first puzzle right here.
Ken Caminiti.
It is Ken Caminiti.
Yeah. Nice.
Love me some Ken Caminiti.
Yes, Ken
right.
Caminiti. Yes. Half the reason all the steroid stuff came out was that article he put out. So
loved him though.
Ken
Caminiti. Whatever, man. Keep juicing. What do I care?
Right. Okay, next one.
If you're hitting balls 500 feet, what do I care?
Exactly.
Hold on, I gotta make this bigger. I can really see these things.
Who is
Sandy Alcantara?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
You got a beach. You got a beach. Yeah. Yep. Al Roker, a can, and Tara Reid. Yeah. Sandy Alcantara. All right. I hope he comes back to his form, man.
I know. That was last year was painful. And the Marlins team was good even though he wasn't.
It's crazy. All right. Next one.
I don't know the first guy.
The first guy is Chris.
That's all you really need.
It's one of the Chris's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Pine, Chris Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine. That's it. Yeah, Chris
Sure.
Pine.
I know nothing about pop culture, so I just live on this planet. I don't engage.
And what kind of dog is that?
It's a dachshund, right?
No,
Oh no, so what's the wiener dog called?
a Dachshund, but it's not a wiener dog.
Oh,
Oh, Chris Bassett.
oh,
Yes.
Basset
The
Hound.
Bassett
Yeah.
Hound.
Yeah.
Chris Bassett.
Chris Bassett. Good.
Jesus.
Next
Good
one.
going. Mookie Betts.
Yes, Mookie Betts. Yes, good one right there.
Sorry, I was
Mookie
blocking our
Betts.
spammer in the chat.
Mookie Betts.
The game is on that link if you want to click it and download a virus.
Okay.
Danny Bibby, but that's not a name.
It's not Danny. What's his last name?
Oh, Tanner.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Tanner Bibby.
Yes, Tanner Bibby.
I'm like,
Good.
Danny.
Yep, Tanner Bibby. Next one. Here we go.
Oh God.
I don't know who any of those, either of those people are.
Is it Bellencourt? No.
Not Bellencourt. It's Ann Court. But what's her name in Yellowstone?
Oh my goodness.
You're
the
really
character's
close.
name?
Yeah. So
I don't-
what's the first name?
Christian.
Yeah, Christian. So not Bellencourt, but it's Bethencourt.
Oh, Bethan. I'm like, I got nothing here. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, Christian Bethencourt. All right, next one.
Oh Jesus.
David Bednar.
Yes, good.
Bednar. I was like, David. Yep.
David Bednar. Okay, next one.
What the hell? Angry Sun, Cheeks Garden.
I mean, you're not far off, really.
Madison Bumgarner.
Yes, Madison Bumgarner. Yes, Madison Bumgarner.
Oh God.
All right, next one. Kind of an easy one, I think.
I want to say Matt Stairs, but it's not stairs he's building.
It's not stairs. Who is it?
Matt Carpenter.
Yes.
Oh,
Matt
Carpenter. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Carpenter. Good.
Yep.
Okay, next one. Mm-hmm. So not who the guy is.
Oh,
It's
Jazz
not-
Chisholm.
Yes. Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. there
Because
we
I'm
go.
like, is that a plane or no? It's a chisel. Oh, got it. Chisholm. Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm. Okay, next one.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah, nice.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I'm like, Crow, what? Armstrong. This kid's
Yeah.
going to be good.
yeah. Okay, next one. This might be a tougher one. He just got traded to the Mariners from the Giants.
Is it Discofani?
It is, yes. Anthony
Anthony
Descofani. Yep.
I always butcher his name.
Yeah, right. Okay, next one.
Oh, God.
What the hell is that top picture?
I'm wrapping my brain around what that is.
It's a mythical creature.
The
Well,
Eagle Lion?
clearly. I mean, look at it.
Yeah. It's Liberty Jacks.
Not Liberty. It's Griffin. It's a Griffin. Griffin Jacks.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a
I
Griffin.
gotta be like, can I be honest? Trust trade with you guys for a moment? I don't even know Griffin Jacks was a person. I don't even know who that is.
Well, now you do.
A couple of times I felt that way, Sean. I appreciate that.
Now you do.
Like, who is this guy? Is this a real person?
All right. Who is this?
Pablo Escobar?
It is Pablo Escobar.
Oh,
And this is
Sandoval?
not Sandoval. The last picture should be able to give it away. And it's the type of tide that it is in the beach picture.
Oh, Lopez.
Yeah, Pablo Lopez.
I wanted to be like Candelario, but I'm like, no, that's not. No, that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Mario.
Pablo,
I was gonna say that's definitely a Pez dispenser.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, Pablo Lopez.
I was fixated on Mario.
All right, next one.
Oh boy.
What?
Oh, Marco Scudero?
Yes, Marco
Oh,
Scudero.
what?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Marco
So,
Scudero.
if you remember, there was a commercial a while back. It was Marco Polo playing Marco Polo.
Yep.
So that's why I put him in there. But yeah,
That was good. Yep.
Marco Scudero.
Marco Scudero. That's a good one.
All right, next one.
Oh, Zach Gallen.
Zach.
I can't. There's the gallon of milk on my screen. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh my god! I was like, what?
Okay, I got to reset here.
Yep, Zach Gallen. All right.
Oh man, I'm like, what the hell is the milk?
Just a gallon of milk.
Yeah, I was like, Zac Efron and a gallon of milk. What are we working with here?
Oh, it's a new movie promo.
Oh man, we went right off the rails there for a minute.
I would watch him drink a gallon of milk.
For sure.
Oh yeah,
I love Zac Efron. I would do that.
All right, next one. This is a pitcher for the Blue Jays.
Oh, Gosman, Kevin Gosman.
Yep, Kevin
Oh,
Gosman.
I thought that. Okay, yeah, Gauze. I got you.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what that was.
I thought it was like a wipe.
What?
Yeah.
I kept going like wipe or.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin Gosman.
Kevin Gosman's a good one.
Here's the next one. Do we know who the person is at the end?
Is it Gonsolin?
It is Gonsolin. Nice. Tony Gonsolin. Yeah.
Who's the person at the end?
Loretta Lynn.
Who the hell's Loretta Lynn?
She's a country singer, man.
Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, old.
Guess it doesn't matter.
Without her, I was able to get the movie and the sewing Gonzo. I'm like, okay, Gonsolin.
Yeah. All right. Well, won't use her again in the future.
No, please. I'm learning things. I like learning.
I didn't know who she was either, Sean. I kind of worked backwards on that one.
All right, here we go. Next one.
Oh, God.
Kendall Graveman.
Yes, Kendall Graveman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That one came fast.
Yep, Kendall Graveman. Okay, next one. I love this one.
Aaron Hicks.
Oh, yeah, say Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, Aaron Hicks.
I love when you get a kick out of your own one.
Some of them are so good. Who's this one?
Rich Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, Rich Hill.
Rich Hill, yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I wasn't.
According to Rich Hill's camp, he's available to come back and pitch if somebody needs him.
Yeah, Red Sox will sign him.
He's like 93.
Yeah.
I mean, the sad part is he's now older than his fastball registers.
Do it. Who cares? Do
right.
it.
Absolutely. Rich Hill. Yeah, I almost put Dick Mountain on there, but
yeah, I was going to say Dick Mountain. That's his alter ego when he pitches well.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
God.
Next one.
Oh, geez. Oh, what's her name from? Is that from The Office?
Yeah, it's from The Office.
I can't remember her character. That was Michael's girlfriend. What the hell was her name?
Yeah, Jan.
Jankowski.
Jankowski.
Yes, Travis Jankowski.
Yeah, that's it. Travis Jankowski.
I had the Kowski part. I'm like, what is her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jankowski. All right, next one.
Oh, God.
This might be a lesser known player too, but he's a young guy for the Nationals.
Is this the Kai Boom guy?
It is. Yeah. It's
Carter Kai Boom or
Carter Keyboom.
Key Boom? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I always pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, good. Carter Keyboom.
Oh, Alejandro Kirk.
Yes, Alejandro
Oh,
Kirk.
it's an
Kirk.
alley.
Yeah, Alejandro Kirk. Yep, good one.
They need
Nice
him to
job,
have a bounce
Harrison.
back season.
He's
Yeah.
a moose, huh?
Yeah, and a half.
Guy can rake though, but they need him to hit this year.
Yeah, he definitely had a down year last year.
They need a bounce back year from him in a big way.
All right, next one. So it's not so much the chickens, but what they're doing.
Oh. Is that a cop?
It is a cop.
Oh, is this Michael Kopech?
It is Michael Kopech. Nice job. Yep, Michael Kopech. All right, next one.
Wow. Oh God.
Tim McGraw and Fidel Castro on the same slide. You're welcome.
I know. Is it is his last name Locastro? What's his last name?
It is. Yeah, LaCastro. Yeah, Tim LaCastro.
Okay. I did pronounce it right.
Yep. Good. All right, next one.
Oh, there's Michael Scott. I don't know the woman.
Yeah, neither do I.
Her last name's Elena, but I need her first name.
Oh, Lauren Elena.
Yep.
I'm glad you got that one, Sean. I still had no idea who she was.
This is Michael Lorenzen.
Oh, Lorenzen.
Yeah. So they're like in Zen.
Yep.
Oh, I was thinking like meditate. Which
I was stuck. Yeah, I was stuck
Zen
on like
makes
yoga
sense
and
too.
meditation. I'm like,
Oh,
wow.
all right,
Yeah.
Michael
Zen.
Lorenzen.
Yeah, Michael Lorenzen. All right, next one.
He's still at the Phillies, right?
I think he's unsigned.
That's what I thought.
Aaron Loop.
Yes.
Oh, there it is.
Aaron
I'm
Loop.
back.
Jumped on that one fast.
Yeah, I think Lorenzen's still unsigned. But
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he was still at the Phillies or if he was unsigned.
No.
Guy was a
All
no
right.
hitter last year. Can't find a job.
It's great. It's crazy.
Dude,
All
we
right.
had a Cy Young winner that can't find a job. Let's not be shocked when a guy just threw a no hitter.
All these guys are like going to meet up on a street corner and start panhandling.
Jeez. Or they're going to start an expansion team themselves.
Dude, they would win the World Series.
Crazy.
If you took all the free agents and put them on a team together, they'd probably win.
Insane. All right, next one. So that's Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah.
Yep. And then that's Lachey from 98 Degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick.
Yep. And who's that first picture on the bottom?
Oh,
Remember
Marisnik. It's Marisnik.
Yes, Jake Marisnik.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Marisnik. I got you.
Yeah.
I was thinking. Yeah, I couldn't separate Maris and Marisnik. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was
okay. So
I was stuck just like you.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Miles Mastroboni.
Yes, nice job.
Wow.
Yes, nice job of that one.
So this is one of those times I'm gonna pull the Sean card and go, who?
Yeah.
Oh, you've never heard of Miles Mastroboni?
I have
He's
no
the
idea who he
funniest
is.
name in baseball.
He
I
was,
know, but I have no idea who he is.
Baseball.
there was a clip going around. It was like the manager was coming out to pull Johnson to face Mastroboni or something like that. Like it was,
Oh yeah. I remember the clip. Yeah, I just
yeah,
that's a name I look at and I go, no idea who that guy is.
yeah, so funny. All right, next one.
Reese McGuire.
It is Reese
Oh,
McGuire.
wow.
Yeah, that's Lizzie McGuire. Good,
Yeah.
Reese
Yep.
McGuire. Good. Okay, next one.
Moniak, Mickey Moniak.
Yeah, good.
Wow.
Harrison's on a roll now. Mickey
Sure
Moniak.
is.
Yeah.
Trade it back and forth.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right. Next one.
What the hell is that top picture?
It's a country in the Middle East.
Oh God.
I mean, we talked about him earlier in the show.
Jericho.
Nope. Somebody we want to sign with the Red Sox, but wouldn't really improve.
Oh, Jordan Montgomery.
Oh, Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah. So
God damn it, Sean.
So
Yeah.
Jordan, and then that's Gomer Pyle in the middle.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Mount. Yeah. Damn it.
Jordan Montgomery. All right. Next one. Do you know who this kid is on top?
It's
Ryan
Ryan
Mountcastle, but I have no
It
idea
is.
who that is on top.
Yeah,
So-
it's Ryan's World.
Yeah, so he opens
The
up
hell's that?
toys. He opens up
This-
toys on YouTube and makes millions and millions and millions of dollars.
The kid's net worth is 8 figures, and he just opens up toys on YouTube.
It's such a joke.
It's crazy.
That's
Yes.
the world we live in.
Yeah, Ryan.
It won't be long before Blake Snell has to resort to that.
Crazy. All right, next one.
Oh, is that Mullins? Is that the basketball player?
Yep. So
Cedric Mullins.
Cedric Mullins.
Yep, Cedric Mullins. Easy one. Next one.
Sal Perez.
Yep, Salvador Perez. Good. Nice job. Next one.
Oh, Ryan Presley.
Nice. Yes,
Oh, nice.
Ryan Presley.
I was completely stuck on that one.
Yeah, Ryan Presley. Good.
I'm like Ryan Waitley, Benchley,
This is I think this one's a layup too.
Cal Raleigh.
Cal Raleigh. Yep. Good. Nice job. Next one.
Isn't he a Maine boy? Cal Raleigh? Isn't he from Maine?
Vermont.
Oh, Vermont. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Vermont. All right.
Who is this?
Robbie
I have
Ray.
No idea.
Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray. That's Margot
Good,
Robbie.
I had no idea who the woman was.
Yeah.
What?
like-
You don't know who Margot Robbie is?
Dude, when it
Oh,
comes to
come out of
pop
your
culture,
rock.
dude, you give me Rick Mullins from the friggin' Pacers, and I'll get him over a current
Come
actor
out
or
of your
actress.
rock.
It was Chris Mullins, but that's
Oh,
okay.
sorry, Chris Mullins, not Rick Mullins. Chris Mullins.
you
Whatever.
mixed up Rick Smits and Chris Mullins. I'll
Yeah,
allow
doesn't
it.
matter. I'll get
I do
that
it all the
over
time.
a current actress.
Yeah. All right.
I
Yeah,
got kids, man. I don't watch movies anymore
Yeah.
Fair.
unless they're
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah. Well, she's not in any Disney movies. All right.
She sure as hell ain't.
Next one. Who is this?
Who's the actor? I'm completely blanking.
It's Rob Schneider.
Schneider, thank you.
Uh-huh.
From all the Adam Sandler movies. What's his name? All right.
Yep. Who's this a picture of in the first one at the bottom?
Clete Blakeman.
Oh, Rob
Okay.
Schneider.
Yeah, it's Rob Ref Snyder.
Oh. I'm such an idiot. I'm like, that's Clete Blakeman.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, here's Sean naming the
such an
official, not
idiot.
actually giving you his title.
I'm such an idiot.
Rob Ref Snyder. All right. Next
I'm like, what's
one.
Clete Blakeman have to do with any baseball player?
Yeah,
I don't
no,
understand.
you know you're a sports geek when you know the name of the refs.
Yeah, right. That's not Angel Hernandez. All right.
Yeah, right.
Next one. Here you go. This is your guy. You said his name.
Sandoval.
earlier. Yeah, Patrick Sandoval. Yeah,
Uh,
Patrick Sandoval.
where's Pablo Sandoval?
Just put a panda on there for a cue. Who is this?
Kyle Schwarber.
Yes,
Kyle
it
Schwarber.
is. It is Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Pitts.
Oh.
Award and then Burr. Kyle Schwarber. Yep. All right. Got a few more here.
What?
Okay. Who's in the first picture?
Elton John.
John.
What kind of car is that?
Is that a Trans Am?
Nope.
I don't know.
Let's
Who do I
go to
look
the.
like?
Let's
Look
go
like
to
a
the.
car guy.
Let's go to the bottom.
It's Kyle Tunn.
Yep. No, not Kyle Ton.
Oh no. Giancarlo Stanton.
Yes, it's a Monte Carlo. So
It's Monte Carlo.
Giancarlo
Yep.
Stanton.
Yep.
Giancarlo Stanton.
God, it's been a long time since I watched South Park.
Yeah. All right, next one. This one's a little bit more of a stretch, but this first picture is a picture of the first of these to ever happen in the Bible at the bottom. It's the original one of these, right?
Yeah, original sin.
Yep. And then
the buck.
Yep. Or just what? A
deer.
Yep. And then what's the last picture?
A guard.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Noah Syndergaard.
Yes. Yeah. Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah, dude, you throw Bible reference in here, you've lost me.
Yeah. Sorry. Moving on. Next one.
No. That's good.
That's good, yeah.
How about this one?
It's Fernando.
Yep.
Is that The Rock?
Nope. It's what's on his back.
Oh.
In a slang term.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yes.
Man.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Tat. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Fernando Tatis Jr. Good.
That was good teamwork there, Sean.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. How about this one? This guy, we got a glimpse of him in the WBC, and he plays for the Rockies now. A good young player. Really young player. Middle infielder.
It's a Trey, and is it? That's not Trejo. What?
Yeah, it is.
It is Trejo. Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce his name? Okay. So it's Allen.
Yes, Alan Trejo. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Alan. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I thought we assumed it was Alan Everson. Yeah, Alan Trejo.
Yeah. I didn't know who that guy was at the top. I just typed in Alan, and he came up. So
get
I just
out of here.
We talk about practice.
Not a game. Practice.
Is that Luke Voigt?
It is Luke Voigt. Good. Nice one.
Good call.
Yep. Okay.
Anthony Volpe?
Yes. Anthony Volpe. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes, Anthony Volpe.
Oh, God.
Fighting for a starting job right now. For your Boston Red Sox.
Oh, is it Whitlock?
Yes.
Oh, Whitlock.
Whitlock.
There you go. Whitlock. Yeah, Garrett Whitlock.
Brad.
I was thinking
Garrett,
Brad because I was thinking the first name for Brad Garrett. Brad something. Yeah. Garrett Whitlock. Nice.
Garrett
Good job.
Whitlock. Good.
Josh Winkowski.
Yep, Josh Winkowski. Good.
Nice work, Sean.
And that is the last one I had for this week.
Oh, those are good. They're just fun.
Yeah, I have a good time putting those together. Some of them, like I said, they crack me up. Like Aaron Hicks killed me because I'm sitting there at school googling Hickeys.
I'm sure people thought nothing of it if they looked over your shoulder.
Over my shoulder, dude, or just spent 5 minutes in my classroom with kids dropping F-bombs all over the place. So it doesn't really matter. So yeah. All right then. All right, we are going to start. Actually, we have a couple debate topics that we're going to throw out right now. They released this week. MLB The Show 24 put out that they are going to put in an option where your creative player is a woman. And I think it's great. I think it's awesome because there are tons of females that play MLB The Show. And I think, me personally, it's only a matter of time before we see a female or a woman that can play professional baseball. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it before, but are we ever going to see them at the MLB level? What do we think?
I don't know. I mean, I would like to think we get to a place where it wouldn't matter. Like, you're good enough to play, you're good enough to play. I mean, we know nothing happens in a vacuum, so it's never going to be that easy for who, first one through the wall is always bloody. So I don't know. But I'm just surprised, like, with the game aspect of it, I'm surprised that it hadn't happened before.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of the fact that, like, currently speaking, there are no women that play in, like, Major League Baseball. Like, that doesn't take away from the fact of the amount of people that do play the game. Like, I'm surprised it actually took this long for them to incorporate that into the game.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. I mean, I think it's great.
Did you guys see Ben Verlander's response to this? So he put out a video. So Ben Verlander from Flippin' Bats, the podcast, Justin Verlander's brother, he does a show on Fox, and people are freaking out. Like, this is outrageous. Why would you put this in the game? And his response was, so to the same people that are creating guys that are 6'4", 350, that steal 50 bases and hit 75 home runs a season, this is unrealistic? But the player you're creating is not? Like, come on, guys. His response was hilarious. But I mean, I think it's cool of MLB the show to include this. I'd love to believe there's a day where you'll see a woman put on a Major League jersey and play. I just don't know that you will. And at risk of being canceled, I think when you look at the level of talent and competition at MLB, that is like the 1% of the 1%. Like, that is not just like, I woke up and decided to play baseball, so I'm going to get to Major League Baseball. Like, when you look at how good those guys are to make those rosters, these are some of the best athletes, best conditioned athletes that have had all this coaching and training and all that along the way. I don't know how you see a woman compete at that level. Not saying they couldn't, but I just don't see a situation where that happens. And what I don't want to see is I don't want to see a team run a woman out there as a promotion to try to look, like they're in touch with the world and have it go bad. Sean, you made the comment of the first one to the wall is bloody. Like, I wouldn't want to see them use this as a publicity stunt. But I think when you look at that level of baseball, there's one woman currently playing Division I baseball. There's no women in the minor leagues, and nobody's ever seen the major leagues. Like, I just think to get from college all the way up through major leagues is probably a path that is going to be too difficult to travel. I'd like to believe it will happen, but I don't think we'll see it in my lifetime.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know what would get you canceled on that. I don't think you said anything offensive. I mean, I think what it would take would be, because like you said, the talent level is so strong, and it's the 1% of the 1% that actually have an opportunity to swing one major league at bat, right? I mean, like, it's just such a crazy number. So what you need is, over the course of a period of time, you just need to see women consistently competing at the lower levels. So you need to see women consistently in at this level, like, girls consistently playing high school baseball, and then girls consistently playing with the boys at AAU level, and consistently playing at the college level, the community college level. And like, it needs to be, they are facing that competition from when they are young all the way up, the same way that boys have to do the same thing, because it is the only way that you can truly see and can truly improve and grow your talent and your game to the level where you have an opportunity to make it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's just what you need. You just need consistent exposure to it.
Yeah. For me,
I think it's going to take a long time. I would love to see it happen. Our lifetime, I don't know if we'll ever see it, just because the women right now are so far behind on that, because they just don't have the exposure to it.
For me, it's the split. It's the baseball softball split once you get to Little League, right? I mean, typically, if you are a pretty good baseball player and you're a woman, you're gonna gravitate towards softball, because that's just what happens, right? So the path, you lose a bulk of your women to softball at an early age. And you do have your Monet Davises. You have, the other girls that have played Little League at the high level. I get it. But then to go on to high school and play, that number gets even smaller. To go on to D1 college, that, we have what? You said one, and she's at Brown, I think. So
one.
And, so then that number gets smaller. For me, we're like, you're looking at Caitlin Clark for women's basketball right now. She could probably go to the NBA and score 10 points, because basketball is basketball. Well, I'm just saying.
Sean's like, well,
I know. I'm going to get canceled on that.
But what I'm
keep my mouth shut.
But what I'm saying is basketball is basketball. The game doesn't change. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Caitlin Clark is playing basketball and not switching to another sport that's an offshoot of basketball, because that's where the women gravitate to. Baseball and softball are kind of unique in that way, that it splits at such an early age. So the number of women that can get to the higher levels is tougher. It's a harder road. So that's kind of my stance on it. It's it's rare to have somebody even in that position to succeed, and then be able to succeed to get to that higher level is tough.
Yeah. And I think that's actually gone backwards too, in the sense that so growing up for me, I played Little League baseball with two girls in our Little League. One of my first home runs was hit off one of the girls, one of the pitchers. She was, I know I'm a jerk, but she was really good. They were both really good ball players. And then after Little League, what did they do? They went down the softball route, because that's kind of where they were directed to go. And I've got an 8-year-old daughter who's playing softball, and she could have signed up for baseball, but no girls sign up for baseball because softball is really their sport. And I think the problem is that until MLB makes an effort to try to attract women to the game, which is hard to do when there's none in the game, that has to be like a grassroots effort started at the Little League level. And Little League doesn't want to do that. Little League likes the split. And I think you're fighting against kind of cultural and societal norms that boys play baseball and girls play softball. But I think when you look down the road of a girl playing baseball, there's no scholarships for a girl playing baseball right now. There's no opportunities to kind of turn that into something. But on the softball side, there's tons of opportunity to go down that path. So until you change the system that you're playing in and actually encourage girls to play baseball, they're going to gravitate towards softball. And I will say, one of my best friends in high school, he had a cousin who was a college softball pitcher, and we went to a field and we hit against her. I might have gone 2 for 10. The girl threw absolute smoke. And the movement of a softball is totally different. But the level of talent of these softball players is really impressive. But when you put them up against a baseball player, it's not even close to the same game, because they've never played that way. They've never played baseball. Right.
And that was my idea when I was making that basketball comparison, because basketball is basketball no matter who's playing it. And the goal's 10 feet, you have an orange round ball, you dribble it down the floor, you throw it through an iron hoop. Baseball and softball are just fundamentally different, and the girls tend to gravitate towards softball. So you're picking from a pool that's non-existent, so it's just the talent just isn't there, because it's all softball.
I think it's cool of MLB The Show to do this, because this may encourage girls to pick up the game and get familiar with baseball. And maybe you'll begin the slow turn to get girls thinking about playing baseball. But the way things are set up right now, they're just not encouraged to play. So I go back to, I don't think in our lifetime we'll see a woman at the major league level. Doesn't mean we never will. I just think that there's way too much you'd have to change to make that a reality.
And MLB is doing a great job of getting women into the sport. Our first major league umpire alternate is female right now. She's going to see time, because somebody is going to miss time as an umpire. So we will see her at the major league level this year. You have Rachel, is it? I always butcher her last name.
Balkovec.
Yeah. And
director of player development.
Yeah, and she was the manager for the Tarpons last year.
You had Kim Ng with the Marlins, who was the GM.
Yeah, exactly. So women are integrating themselves into baseball, and I think it's great.
Yeah, I think you'll see women continue to play roles kind of on the periphery of the game, but I think it's going to be a long, long time before you see a woman on the field in uniform.
Yeah, it's fair. And then the second point you wanted to make, Harrison, was?
Yeah, so MLB just kind of released their latest study. It came out this came out this morning or this afternoon. So MLB has all these programs in place to try to bring in minorities, obviously targeted more to the Black communities. And what MLB is finding is that back in 1991, 18% of MLB players were Black. Today, it's just 6.2% of players on opening day rosters last year were Black. So you've had the number of Black players cut by 2/3.
You mean when we say Black, we're talking like African Americans, right?
African American, correct?
So like Latino or anything like that.
Exactly. So they don't include the Latin players because they're not born in the U.S. And that's a huge, the Dominican Republic and all that. That's a huge piece of baseball. But looking at strictly American-born players, it used to be 18% of the league was Black, and now 6% of the league is Black. And so MLB has seen a massive decline in the Black athlete. However, you have signs at the younger levels that there's more than that in terms of kids signing up to play minor league baseball. You're seeing it as high as 30%. So the MLB is trying to grasp at why is the number so low right now, but yet the pipeline looks so good. But what they're finding is that when you take the registrations of youth baseball and you extrapolate them all the way up to college, that 30% drops off very fast. So the question in all this is, and MLB's wrestling with it, is, are we doing a good job promoting baseball to the Black community? And if not, what else should we be doing to try to draw that player in? Because you're losing those players to basketball and football and other sports, but they used to gravitate towards baseball. What's changed?
Well, I don't know. I didn't read the study, but I could tell you, and I think this goes outside of like a particular maybe African American community, but every sport now is this niche, like you play it all year round. Like if you're a basketball player, you play basketball year round. If you're a baseball player, you play AAU and you play fall ball and you play this. If you're a hockey player, all you play is hockey. Like even, as recently as 15 years ago, like when I was like a kid, like growing up, it was like you just played multiple sports. Yeah, like that's just what you did. When it was winter, you played hockey and basketball. When it was spring and summer, you played baseball. When it was fall, you played football or soccer or whatever. And you played multiple sports. And you continue to do that through high school. Not like into high school, but like through high school. And you just have this exposure to all these different sports. And the exposure that you're getting to these sports is exposure that, maybe colleges, community colleges, whatever, are getting of you. And you're more exposed to other types of sports. Whereas like now, over the past 10 years, it is just so centralized on the one sport that you want to play. Like at my school, like we have a 7th and 8th grade basketball team that's really good. And we have kids that are 7th graders that only play basketball.
Wow.
I mean, like their entire life, basketball. That's what they've played. They've never played another sport. So you put a basketball in their hands and they're just incredible. Incredible. You put a soccer ball at their feet, it's chaos. Chaos. You put, like, I'll put, like we'll have like an easy like Friday afternoon and I'll like in the background while like they're doing like a worksheet or something, I'll put like sound off, I'll put golf in the background. They don't even know the rules. Now, and that's okay. I'm not saying everybody needs to know the rules to every sport. I'm just saying like they are so like blinders on to one particular sport. So while the Little League numbers might be good, like once you get to 3rd, 4th, 5th grade and they are deciding what sport they're going to play, everything else just gets blocked out. Like they're not thinking about baseball, they're not thinking about football, or they're not thinking about basketball, like whatever. And I think that ultimately to me hurts, because where your biggest growth as an athlete, and I have no idea, studies could tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like your biggest growth as an athlete is when you're in high school. Your biggest growth, because it's when you grow the most like physically, right? It's when you become biggest and strongest, and you're at your
in middle school and high school.
Like so when you're playing all these different types of sports every season, you're exposed to all these different types of sports, and they're not now. Like it's just not a thing now.
Yeah,
baseball's the same way. It's not just basketball, right? You have these baseball players that like by the time they're 16, they've thrown like 10,000 innings. It's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
That's such a fair point because parents are paying big money to be on these travel teams, and they're not going to want them, to go play basketball and get hurt, and then they can't go on their travel baseball team. Like the travel stuff really wasn't a thing when I was growing up. Like
no, not up in our area.
No,
not
if
up in
you
like the Northeast, it really wasn't.
right, if you wanted to play sports or do anything after school, it was like, well, it's football season. Well, it's basketball season. Well, it's baseball season, and that's all that's offered. Not a lot of this travel stuff like there is now. And so I think you hit the nail right on the head, Sean. I think it is the concentration in one thing from an early age now. And we're starting to see it, right? We're seeing it at the major league level, the concentration at an early age. Like this influx of young talent, kids that are 19 to 22 that are coming up and making immediate impact in the major leagues. This is all from a pipeline of being centralized on one sport since they were 9 years old.
Oh, dude, if you're 19 and I'm not talking batting practice or anything, I'm just talking games that you've played. If you're 19 and you have tens or hundreds of thousands of at-bats, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's so many baseball games to have played.
Well, it's funny because like my experience growing up was way different than yours. So I played travel ball, AAU ball. Like I played in tournaments all over the country. I was in Tennessee for a national tournament in Florida, and we were the 5th ranked team in the country when I was 16 and 17.
Sweet, Brad.
But that, but that was $1,500 a year to join the team, and then travel and all this other stuff. It was like a $5,000 or $6,000 a year commitment, which I look back and I have no idea how the hell my parents afforded it, because it's not like we were living lavishly. But I think part of baseball too is that, basketball, every community's got a court. All you need is a ball. Football, you can literally, it's a ball and a parking lot. Baseball still requires a field, which there's just not that many of them. You need a bat and a glove and all this other stuff that goes with it. I still feel like the access to baseball isn't the same as it is for other sports. And I feel like in those, when you think of where Black players live, they are absolutely surrounded by basketball courts and parks. Probably not a baseball field, but probably a park and a court, which means the sports they're going to gravitate to are soccer, football, basketball. Baseball continues to be, I think, just a little bit out of reach to every kid. And that was what baseball's big initiative was to try to put more fields out there. And I don't know if that's worked or not, but what I will say is that I think there's a component of baseball is still not as accessible as other sports, and that plays a part. But second, to Sean's point, I think kids sign up for baseball. I think as young kids, we play everything. And then you're like, well, this is what I really like. And I just don't think baseball sticks like other sports do. And I think there's a lot of reasons for why that is, but I just don't think
it's
baseball
a game
sticks.
of fail. It's a game of failure. It's hard.
Baseball's fucking hard,
man.
It is. Well, my son started playing baseball, and after 2 seasons, he was like, it's kind of boring. Like, I don't really have a great time. Like, it's a lot of standing around. You're right. It is not a game of fast pace, always on the go action. So like my son gravitated towards lacrosse and basketball. Great. Go play those sports. But I lost baseball. My daughter's going to play softball, so I'm hoping I'm going to get the baseball mojo back over there. But I think it's still a tough sport to get kids into. It's a tough sport to get kids to stick with, because you're trying to trade the long kind of cycle of baseball for the faster paced action of everything else. And I don't know that baseball has a fix for that. You have to make the game exciting. And maybe the pitch clock will help make the game more accessible so kids will watch it. But ultimately, you've got to get kids to want to go out and play it. And kids don't have the attention span to stand in left field for friggin' 2 hours and get the ball hit to them one time. They just don't.
Well, I mean, I also think you add the influx of the different sports that are coming over, like soccer is becoming increasingly more popular in this country, and lacrosse is becoming increasingly more popular. Like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I mean, if you wanted to play something in the summer when school was out, it was baseball or it was basketball. I mean, that was really what it was that you played. You could play. You go to the school that's down the street, and you get a couple buddies, and you do a pickup basketball game. Or you go to the same school that has a baseball field and you guys do some sort of home run derby or whatever. Like, that's really what the options were. But like now you have such access to these other sports that are more fast-paced sports that are more up and down and more fun to play if that's what you're looking for. Baseball, there's only so much you can do. I mean, it is a slow-paced sport. I mean, that's just what it is. You can do things within the rules to kind of speed up watching the game a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's just outside of like any type of niche community, like African American community or whatever. I just think overall for young kids, they're losing baseball just because it's like, well, I'm going to go out there and stand out there for 25 minutes at a time, and then I'm going to get my turn to hit, and I'm not going to come anywhere close to the ball 3 out of the 4 times. Fuck that. I'm not playing this game.
Well,
because it's hard. It's hard.
When you break down a youth game, it could be a 2-hour game that you only are actually active in for 10 minutes. Like
it's
literally,
hard.
that's what you're talking about. It could be an hour and 50 minutes of standing around to get your 10 minutes of action.
It's hard. And if you're not good and if you struggle and you're not seeing yourself consistently get better, like, why am I signing up for this when I can so easily access another sport? I can so easily access year-round basketball, which I'm good at. Or I can easily access a lacrosse league, which, hey, it's a little more fast-paced. I mean, I've never played it. It seems like a challenging sport to play, but like it's definitely up and down the field. I mean, it's fast-paced.
Yeah. If lacrosse was more mainstream when I was a kid, I might have been tempted to switch over and play it. But
I don't want to say baseball is getting passed by because I truly don't believe that, but it's becoming one of those niche sports where it's it used to be like the pastime, like everybody played baseball, but now it's almost like the pendulum swinging the other way. And like baseball is now the niche sport that like you have to like, oh, you don't know the rules about baseball? Like literally no joke.
Right.
I got to school. I was doing like prep work before school and some kid comes in a little bit early. So he comes into my room and I had a game on. I was like Chromecasting a game on the TV while I was doing some work before school. And he literally was like, this is the 7th grader. And he's like, I don't like what, like, why does that guy just get to go to first base? I was like, oh, it was a walk. Like he got 4 balls in the at bat. Like he just gets to, like, it's based on balls. It's a walk. He gets to go to first base. And he was like, he's no idea what the rules of baseball are.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I don't care if you played baseball or not. Every person in 7th grade, when I was in 7th grade, knew at least the rules of baseball.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was so much more mainstream. And my biggest concern for baseball overall, forget about, what race you are, religion, color, it doesn't matter. My concern with baseball is that as these younger kids come up with shorter than ever attention spans, baseball, I think, is at risk because nobody has the attention span to be part of a 2.5-hour game where there's not a lot of action. Hockey, nonstop action. Basketball, nonstop action. Football generally has action. Like there's not a lot of just standing around. But my fear for baseball is that as the attention span of kids shortens, baseball is going to be less attractive. And I think this is just the beginning of a long slide for baseball if they don't find ways to make kids think the game is exciting.
Yeah. The only reason I gravitated toward baseball is like, wait, I can hit it, run 60 feet, and then stop and take a break. I'm in. But yeah. I mean, it's a lot of factors. I think everything that we brought up, I mean, it all makes sense. I mean, it's just,
and there's more factors, I mean, we can sit here for another 2 hours and talk about them, all the other ones we haven't even mentioned.
But just like everything in this world, it's going to go in cycles. Like you're going to have a time where baseball's low. You're going to have a time where baseball's high. I mean, you think about like last March, everyone was talking about baseball in WBC. Everybody was, so like that's a high point. And then like everybody came out to the parks. And then now it's just, it's just going to come in cycles. That's just how the world works.
It goes back to what we talked about for over and over and over again. Baseball has to do a better job of promoting the top players and the game. The more you make those players accessible, the more you make the game look exciting and fun, the more kids are going to want to be involved. And as much as it makes me want to throw up, you need to continue to talk about Shohei Ohtani and Trout and Tatis. And you need to continue to beat people over the head with how good these athletes are and how exciting the game can be. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to get forgotten.
I don't really hate it because I love women's college basketball. That's all I watch. But you watch what Caitlin Clark's doing for the game, and you watch what the NCAA and all these businesses are doing with Caitlin Clark. They're throwing her in your face, and it is growing the girls' game. Like the girls' college game is so much better than it ever has. It's on an all-time high. And MLB should take notes because that's how you do it. You take somebody that's successful and at the top of the game, like throw them in your face constantly. I mean, that's what they got to do. But all right.
Well, and I think just real last thing I'll say is I think on top of promoting the top players, I think baseball would be wise because it's a slower type of sport, which it is. I mean, there's no denying that.
Yep.
Right.
I think baseball would be wise to start promoting like the plays within the play. Like you see it like with like high level like the soccer leagues do it, right? And I've like over the past like 6 or 7 years really kind of grown on soccer. I was never a huge soccer guy. Like I always appreciated the athleticism, but I never really like was kind of into the game. Over the last 8 years, I've really grown into the game, and I thoroughly enjoy like Saturday, Sunday mornings getting up and throwing on a soccer game because once you like truly appreciate the little plays within the game, even though it might not result in a goal, even though it might not result in like a run, but like a play within the play, like baseball promoting somebody grinding out in a bat, like an 8-pitch at bat, and then you like saw one off the handle over second base for an RBI single. Like that's a great at bat. Like, is it a 500-foot home run? No, it's not. Right. But if you start promoting those little plays, things like that happen in every game, then you're going to start to get people to be like, oh, like that's a great at bat, or like, what a great job by the pitcher. But if all we're doing is promoting like 500-foot pimp jobs, like those are great, but those don't happen every game.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think they could do a better job on top of promoting the big players, but like promoting the wonderful things that happen every night within every game, because I think that can get people to come back and truly appreciate how impressive it is what these guys do night in, night out.
Yeah. And like every baseball game has that one play that's unique that like you've never seen before. Like as many innings that we've played, watched, coached, whatever, like there's always something that happens. You're like, well, I've never seen that before. That's ridiculous. You know, like, I mean, like Javi Baez getting in a pickle between home and first and then legging out a double somehow.
Dude,
you know,
that play drives me nuts. That play drives me nuts.
It does me too, but it's still
just turn around, touch first base. Not only is the inning over, the run doesn't even count. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is like that's something you go to the ballpark and you like. I've never seen that before in a baseball game. So, I mean, you're right. Just kind of pointing those intricacies out. But all right. Last thing we'll get into here to end the show, because we're actually at the 1.5 hour mark here. So real quick to end the show, Trevor Bauer pitches against the Dodgers minor league team, had 3 scoreless innings. Does a team take a chance on him? Does he deserve a chance? Should teams give him a shot?
Should a team take a chance on him? Yeah. Should a team take a chance on him? Yes. Will they? No, because they don't want the sideshow on the circus. And it's a shame because the guy would literally he would be the number 2, worst case number 3 on almost any major league pitching staff right now, but he's just not worth the headache, and that's where we're falling.
I mean, with you know, we talk about, I know baseball right now with the whole TV thing, you know, money's kind of up in the air, but you know, these professional sports franchises are not just sports teams; these are brands. These are worldwide. Recognizable brands, and owners now are protecting them as such. And I don't see a scenario in which a team says, oh yeah, no, let's just take a flyer, regardless of how cheap the contract is. Like, I don't think this is a money thing with Trevor Bauer.
No.
So I just think I don't see a scenario in which a team says, yeah, like if they were gonna, they would have by now, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it said he touched 99 like 3 times, so like his stuff is still there. It's still present.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. I don't think a team takes a chance on him.
Yeah, I think he already had kind of a bad reputation around the league, and it's been kind of sadly unfairly made worse. But he already wasn't in a good spot, so people aren't going to take the chance on him now.
Yeah. Even before the sexual misconduct allegations, he was already starting to talk his way out of the league. Like he was the Anthony Rendon now, right?
Yeah.
Like he was contradicting everything MLB was saying, and he's like, "Oh well, that's stupid. That's dumb. We shouldn't do it." That like, so he was already talking his way out of the league, and then I don't think his social media presence now helps him out at all either.
See,
So
I like Trevor Bauer because he tells it how it is, but that just doesn't fit with everybody. And as a Major League Baseball owner, I don't want the guy giving trade secrets on social media and making us look foolish. I just don't want it.
Yeah.
So like, as much as I love the fact that he exposed the whole sticky stuff thing, like he's been very vocal about how to fix the game. But as an owner, I just don't need that. I don't need that headache. You don't bring me enough to justify the headache.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. He does rub me the wrong way. I mean, I think him kind of doing the whole, exposing, particularly the sticky stuff. Like it was refreshing a little bit, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's just something about him. I mean, there's
it's his way. He's got a way about him.
Yeah. I say to this, like, it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it. And this guy is just consistently coming off as if he's better than you, right? I'm smarter. You don't know what I know. Let me talk down to you and tell you why I'm right and you're wrong. And it just, all that combined with all the other stuff we were saying, like, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, that was a jam-packed show tonight, fellas. Do we have anything else real quick, or are we good?
I got two super quick nuggets.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, go.
So real quick, reports are that Snell has a very strong preference to play for the Angels. He's leaning very hard towards trying to make a deal with the Angels. That was as of yesterday.
Why?
That is his preference. No idea why. And there's a movement starting in Nashville to say no to expansion and take themselves off the list.
No way.
There's a belief that there is a section of the people in Nashville that are believing that baseball is not beneficial to the city, that it would just be a nuisance. So,
which is what Vegas is saying too. So,
which is what some cities are coming back and saying. So, whether that gains enough steam to take them off the list for real, who knows? But there is a pocket of resistance forming in Nashville to say no to MLB.
Dang, bring them to Raleigh. We want them. Let's go. Let's go.
Montreal or bust.
I love Montreal.
Montreal or bust.
I don't have my passport. Bring them to Raleigh. Let's go.
Montreal or bust.
All right, Sean, do you have something?
Yeah, it just popped off as right as we were kind of starting. Joe Torre was elected as the vice chairman of Baseball's Hall of Fame. So he was elected in 2014. He joined the board in 2023, and now March of 2024, he was elected as the vice chairman of the Hall of Fame. I have no idea what goes along with that. I have no idea if is this like a legitimate position where he's gonna affect any sort of change? Probably not. I don't know, but good for Joe Torre. I'm a Joe Torre guy.
Oh, 2024 nominees just announced for the Hall of Fame. Don Mattingly, Scott Brocious.
What?
All these guys that Joe Torre coached.
Yeah, John Wetland.
Yeah. Tino Martinez. Let's just run out the 98 team.
Yeah. So all Yankees. Ichiro will get in. He was a Yankee at one point. Yeah. So yep. All Yankees next year on the 2024. Stephen Drew.
So we'll just pick up random Yankees.
This just in, Robinson Cano gets on the ballot early.
Gleyber Torres. He's still playing.
But good for Joe Torre. I'm a Joe Torre guy.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
And again,
we'll see
I'm going to keep looking into it and see kind of if that position comes along with anything monumental, but good for Joe Torre.
Yeah. He can fall asleep in those meetings and not get criticism for it.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Jeez.
All right. Anything else before we wrap it up?
That's it. Let's roll.
All right. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for all the support. It really means a lot to us. But before you go, just make sure that you like us and follow us on Facebook. You can also subscribe on YouTube. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. You can comment on our Facebook Reels. We're on Instagram now, so you can find us there. Just any support is greatly appreciated. And we will be back on next Monday at 8 p.m. We'll see you then.